All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. So I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today, so let's get straight into it here. So the first story that I have for you guys today is a bodybuilding story. William Bonac put up a post today on his Instagram where, of course, he's looking as impressive as he always does. I mean, he's the current Arnold Classic champion, runner-up at the last Olympia. Of course he's going to look good. But the thing that caught my eye with this post was the caption, 17 weeks out to the Mr. Olympia. So he is prepping for the Olympia despite being one of the bodybuilders that doesn't currently live in the United States, and there might still be travel restrictions in place that prevent him from being able to compete at the Mr. Olympia. Bonac, in addition to Ramy, Hadi, Rolly, Nathan Diasha, these are guys that might be excluded from the Olympia if certain travel restrictions don't change by December. So I am glad to see that Bonac is still prepping for the Olympia despite the possibility that he might not be able to get here. Now, obviously, he's already qualified. He won the Arnold Classic and he was runner-up, so he doesn't need to qualify before the Olympia, obviously. But I am optimistic to see that it looks like he's still planning on being there, or at least preparing to be there. So I like that optimistic outlook. And I hope that we do get to see Bonac on the Olympia stage this year because he is the returning runner-up. It'd be kind of a shame if he wasn't in that lineup this year. So hopefully things change. A lot can change between now and December, as we've seen already. So that brings me to my next story here. I wanted to talk a little bit more about this show in Spain, this Europa Pro Show. This is going to be interesting, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how this plays out and who's going to show up here. So to catch you guys up, there's the Europa Championships in Spain. The top 3 at this show in men's open bodybuilding will all get an Olympia qualification. So this is basically the IFBB's Hail Mary to possibly international competitors that haven't qualified already to get them qualified for the Olympia so they don't have to try to come over to the States before December and qualify. And I guess also, bodybuilders from the U.S. could compete there to qualify as well. So this is really huge for bodybuilders that are still trying to get to the Mr. Olympia. And also this counts for 212 classic physique, men's physique, figure, bikini, fitness, women's physique, and women's bodybuilding. And it's top 3 in all of those except for fitness, physique, and women's bodybuilding. Those are all only the top 2 will qualify. And I did a little research on this, and it's starting to make a whole lot of sense why they decided to do this because of the fact Spain does still have travel restrictions, but I did a little bit of research, and they have a special exception to allow people to enter and exit the country if they are a high-level professional athlete participating in a high-level sporting event. And I'm assuming this includes professional bodybuilders. So this certainly could provide a little bit of a loophole for bodybuilders that might not be able to get over to the States before the Olympia to qualify. So I can definitely see now why they picked this show to make this particular show the one, where 3 people qualify, the top 3. And international bodybuilders that still need to qualify: Lucas Osadil, Big Ramy, Andre Muzi, James Hollingshead, and those are just to name a few that are already in the point standings, not considering guys that aren't in the point standings yet. And this show will be held on October 11th, so I believe that is the closest pro qualifier, if I'm not mistaken. That is the closest one to the Olympia. So I think that might be the last chance to qualify as well. And that's what, to me, makes the Big Ramy story that much more interesting when Big Ramy posted that photo today with the caption, "Never give up," because maybe he just realized that it's good that he continued prepping and didn't give up, because now here's this opportunity that was just posted yesterday that's going to be happening in Spain. Pro athletes are going to be able to get there. It's an Olympia qualifier. There's a really high likelihood of qualification. Ramy placing outside of the top 3 at a show like that would be highly unlikely. So if Ramy were able to get to Spain, which it seems like he would, this would probably be a pretty safe bet for an Olympia qualification. So it seems to me like this show in Spain is really going to shake things up for bodybuilding. And that brings me to my next Big Ramy-related story. A lot of people sent me this guy's profile and said they thought he was a Big Ramy lookalike. Masin Samadi. Mostly I can see it in the face. They've got similar facial hair. It's very similar facial structures, the cheeks and kind of that diet face. They do look alike. And then the fact that this guy is also a massive bodybuilder. At first glance, when you scroll through his profile, if you just see a picture of him off to the side, you might think it's Big Ramy. I mean, obviously Big Ramy is a much higher caliber physique. and looks different than this guy physique-wise. But I can definitely see the similarities here that people are pointing out between Mawson and Ramy. And I guess if he ever needs a job as a stunt double, he would make a pretty good stunt double for Big Ramy. You'd be hard-pressed to find someone to play Big Ramy that would look this close to him from a facial standpoint and have the size, the big enough physique to actually be a passable version of Big Ramy. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you guys think this guy looks like Big Ramy, or do you think it's not even close? Personally, I can kind of see it. Now, next up in the news, Brandon Curry. Brandon Curry recently did an interview on the Mr. Olympia TV YouTube channel, and they posted it on the Mr. Olympia LLC Instagram page. And this is a perfect example of why I like Brandon so much. He's got such a good diplomatic approach to all the questions that people ask him. He's a really good ambassador, and I think he's a really humble and grateful champion. And he really exemplifies a great champion mentality. He was asked basically what was his opinion on the Phil Heath comeback, and he basically says, you know, he's honored to be on the same stage as Phil and to be considered a top challenger to Phil and being the returning defending Mr. Olympia champ next to Phil. And basically he just says that he's happy that Phil's coming back and he's looking forward to doing battle on stage. And he also says he's prepared to be the last man standing. So I'll show you guys a quick clip from that interview right now.
Well, seeing that it's a possibility for me to actually step on stage with Phil Heath and be the front runner, I mean, like I said, I couldn't write this, man. This is something I couldn't have never had happen myself. So I just appreciate the champ coming back to the stage and coming back and give me an opportunity to battle against him, man. That's very cool.
So who's going to be in that final call out then at the Olympia?
Who's going to be in there? Well, you know it's going to be me and him.
Yeah.
But of course I'm prepared to be the last man standing. You know?
So shout out to Brandon, man. I just thought that was a really classy answer, and I think it's a perfect example of why Brandon is such a great ambassador for the sport of bodybuilding and why he's been such a fantastic champion so far. And I, for one, am certainly looking forward to seeing Brandon and Phil do battle on the Olympia stage here in December. Now, the final story I want to talk about here is Akim Williams. He posted a physique update picture where he's looking massive as always, and he says he's on the second week of dieting for the Wings of Strength. And I believe that means he's prepping for the upcoming Chicago Pro, which is October 16th through the 17th. So actually that is after the Spain show. So maybe Chicago is the last opportunity to qualify. But it looks like Akim is getting ready for that show. Akim is definitely a guy that has the serious potential to win a pro show like the Chicago Pro. It's just a matter of conditioning. He's huge, and the problem that huge guys often have is conditioning. And Akim is also another guy currently not qualified for the Olympia yet. So there's going to be a lot of people battling it out for these Olympia qualifications over the next 4 shows: New York Pro, Cali Pro, Chicago Pro, this Europa, Spain. You're going to see a lot of guys competing over the next couple of months because those Olympia spots are few and far between, and the opportunities to secure one are also few and far between. So that is going to wrap it up for the video today, guys. I hope you did, in fact, enjoy it. Please make sure you give it a thumbs up, like the video if you did enjoy it. Make sure you subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed yet already. And as always, Nick Strength and Power, signing out.